Hi there, Steve Kaufman here to talk about language learning. And I want to talk today about advances in language learning, why language learning is becoming easier and easier. I have talked in the past about some of the major advances in language learning. For example, MP3 technology. I talked about 50 years ago when I would listen to an open reel tape recorder in my room in Hong Kong when I was learning Chinese, Mandarin Chinese. And now the iPhone that I'm filming this on is also a major language learning tool. I use it to listen to, I use it to read on, I use it to link on, and of course I have my handy dandy iPod, or at least iPad here, and I have my computer. And we've got Link open on my computer, and I've also got a lesson here, it happens to be an Arabic lesson open on my iPad. By the way, it was a blog produced by a person in Egypt talking about historical figures in Arabic culture, El Biruni, if I remember here, and I'm going over it. I did it some while ago. So we are now surrounded by this tremendous technology insofar as audio files and even little things like these handy dandy earphones, and normally I use my AirPods and our iPhones and Netflix, for example, and all of these things contribute, and they contribute. A lot of this stuff contributes in a small way. For example, I'm trying to do my standard Arabic. My wife happens to start watching this Eugenie Knight's Egyptian movie on Netflix. So I kind of float through the room, see her watching it, and of course, at first I don't want to watch it because nothing ever happens. But then after a while, it's kind of fun to see people, even if these are, this is fiction. These are not real people. This is perhaps not what life really was like, but it is still fun. So these are real people speaking Egyptian Arabic, which I don't understand. But then I say, oh, Netflix. So then I go to Netflix, and I look up this movie, and lo and behold, it has Arabic subtitles, so I can follow it. And I now use this learning languages with Netflix, so I can go, frame by frame, and it has the dialogue in standard Arabic. So it's fun to see them speaking in a way. They're not speaking standard Arabic, they're speaking Egyptian Arabic, but the words they are using, if they were speaking standard Arabic, this is what they would be saying. So with that, I say, hey, this is fun. It brings the Arabic alive to me. So I contact we have a virtual assistant person, Zoran, who's tremendous. He lives in Serbia. And I say, Zoran, can't we get someone to rewrite the mini stories in Egyptian Arabic and record them? And then I could get a handle on Egyptian Arabic so that when I watch the movie with my wife, I can understand some of it. So this is kind of sort of the impact of, Netflix, modern technology, access to cultures around the world, all of which is stimulating my language learning. And there are many examples. For example, I'll give you an example here. Like I'm in my Farsi here, Persian. So one thing I can do, if I go to this Fardo podcast, which is one of the ones that I'm using, and I open up a lesson, and unfortunately we don't have text-to-speech in Persian for whatever reason. I don't know why. And we don't have a lot of good content. We have some. I've actually commissioned some people to create content, and that's there, and I've done it. And so Fardo is not bad. But one thing I didn't realize on Link I'm a co-founder of Link. I didn't even know this existed. If I click, there's 3 little dots here on the upper right-hand corner of the lesson page. If I click on it, I get Edit Lesson. So the lesson, here's where I can edit, I can add, here's where I upload the audio. And there's a thing here called Resplit Text on the left-hand side. So I can click on the resplit text. It warns me, are you sure you want to resplit? I say, okay, resplit. And then there's a thing called clips, which I hadn't noticed before. There's title and text. There's resources, which could be video, it could be notes, translations. But there's also clips. So I open Clips, and with that it says generate audio timestamps. So I click on the generate audio timestamps, and it does its thing in the background for a while. And once it's done, lo and behold, I now can listen to this lesson. If I, let's see, I can go back here, save and open. And now, if I'm in sentence mode, because again, we can either be in full text mode or sentence mode, and there's not much difference there, but if I go back there, I can actually listen to, I click on this audio here, and the the audio that corresponds to this section is going to be played. Now, in the case of again, we're talking modern innovations. In the case of these podcasts, I actually have to download the audio file because I subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. I have to put that MP3 file in my Happy Transcriber or Happy Scribe or Vocalmatic to convert that into text. That means there's no punctuation. That means that the sentences are actually quite long, so not quite as good. In Turkish I've done it, and where we use material that is not automatically transcribed, where we have punctuation, you actually get quite short, 2-3 line sentences where the audio matches the text, and it makes it a lot easier. Now, in languages like Turkish and Arabic where we have text-to-speech, it's very nice. It's not crucial. It's nice though, because the text-to-speech is often not accurate. But for Persian, where we don't have text-to-speech, this really, really helps. And I didn't know about this. So, and I'm sure there's lots of stuff at Link that I don't know about, or that other users don't know about. But if you want to get audio to match the text in sentence mode, do check out, go to the edit, using the 3 little dots here, go to edit, make sure you resplit the text, and then automatic timestamps, and you're away. So, little things, that I guess help us, encourage us, or make it easier, and they're coming at us all the time. There's continuing improvement in the range of things that either stimulate us, help us, allow us to access content, and content is key. So I did an interview, you may have seen it, with Johan, who does Français Authentique. Tremendous content. He just talks, either it's a monologue or he talks to people. It's in French. It's just natural people talking. I wish someone would do that for Arabic, for Persian, for Turkish. We're starting to get stuff from our members or from other people who are posting there, but in all the languages. Rather than creating textbooks, what's needed is massive amounts of this sort of casual conversation content to bridge the gap between the beginner content, like our mini stories, and then the more difficult stuff like these political podcasts. So the world of language learning is evolving step by step, little steps, big steps, and we all benefit. And that's what I wanted to talk about today.